And you went back to the moment when we finished the first movie and we were all celebrating the success that we had no idea was coming. And you asked me and Greg and Channing the question of, would you make a second one? We would have said, absolutely not. Like, no way. What would we do? Like, where do you go from that first movie? And so it took a minute. And actually it was Greg who called me up a number of times and said, we need to make a second movie. And I always said, I think you're crazy, dude. Why would we do that? And then Chan and I were talking, and it really occurred to us that what was left out in the story of the inspiration for the first one was this road trip that Channing took to a stripper convention back in the day. When he first told me that he wanted to tell his story of being a stripper or some version of it and make it into a movie, that was the first thing that he brought up. And as a writer, I could never figure out how to stick it into the first movie. And so we just thought, oh, we have to do this. The cool thing about this movie is that most times that you make a sequel, it's sort of obligatory in the sense that the first one succeeded, so you have to figure out a place to continue that story and a way to kind of continue the tone and the paradigm, the story paradigm of the first movie. And with this one, it's a total tonal shift. It's 3 years after the end of the last movie, and a lot's happened in 3 years in all the characters' lives involved. And if I could sort of sum up the first movie, I would say it was about a guy who was lacking fulfillment in his life, and stripping in that whole world, he was looking at the dark side of it that was holding him back from living the life that he wanted to live, being the person that he wanted to be, and he was looking at all the sort of gnarly underbelly of what stripping is, the narcissism, the greed, all that kind of stuff. And the second movie is a celebration of the good things about the world of stripping, the things that he missed after spending 3 years away and living a hard life, being an entrepreneur and, struggling to make $1 in an honest living. And then you might look back and go, man, there were some really cool things about being a stripper. And that's what this movie is about, is finding out what those things are. I think that's a credit to Greg just as a person, as he has so much experience in this business, and he's done so many different jobs, and he knows how to make a movie from soup to nuts. And so he knows that the strength of a film is in the director's openness to collaborate with as many people as possible. And I think that's what a lot of directors learn over time, because you do have to be protective over your vision, but good ideas are all over the place. And as long as the ship's sailing in the right direction and on time and everything like that, you can still be open to hearing from other people how to improve everything. Channing is the engine that's driving this thing. I mean, every day, these guys have to get in thongs and do dumb. And so he's standing there on the sidelines going, it's cool, it's okay, it's amazing. And you can't help but believe him, because he's doing it too, and he's doing it even crazier than everybody else. So that creates an environment where people feel comfortable and they want to follow in the footsteps of something that otherwise feels pretty insane to follow in. I don't think for many actors, they would feel super comfortable to play these parts, because it could go really wrong really quickly. And so Channing's the one kind of ensuring, that all the dances are cool and good and well thought through. So he's not only working on his own routines, but he's working on all the guys' routines. And he's there for every one of them when they shoot.